But I do have some pointers for you to radiate positivity, to shine, to have good vibes. And when you have good vibes, guess what happens? Yeah, that's right. You attract good vibes. So, we are gonna, in spirit of shining and how to brighten up the place every time you enter it, we're gonna brighten up my roots and stuff with L'Oreal Paris Blonde Supreme. If you know you're gonna be in a bad mood, don't pretend that you're in a good one. If you watched my other video, I was talking about how the key to manifesting everything you've ever wanted is accepting and being vulnerable. So tell me how you're gonna be able to do that if you don't accept that you're in a shit mood. Everybody says fake it till you make it, which is controversial because you can only fake it till you make it if you believe you can make it. If you don't believe you can make it, you're gonna end up where you want to be, but then you're not going to be able to enjoy it. Have you heard of imposter syndrome? So if you want to be good vibes, baby, you gotta like be real. Get real with yourself, honey. You're not going to be good vibes all the time. That's completely unrealistic. And anybody that says you are doesn't know shit about what it's like to be human. Release endorphins. Studies show that women release more endorphins when grooming. So things like this, like what I'm doing, or trimming your eyebrows, or putting on makeup, it releases endorphins, which is what also is released when you exercise, or have sex, or laugh, for instance. And your body can't tell the difference between fake laughter and real laughter, and laughter also burns calories. Look it up. So really, you should be having sex, exercising, and grooming on the regular, so that when you go out into the world, you are at the highest frequency you can be. Honor your extroversion or your introversion. The reason this is important in being like the brightest bulb in the tanning bed out in public is because if you don't honor your energetic needs, which comes from whether you're a extrovert or not, you are giving away energy or depriving yourself of energy that you desperately need. And prioritizing that is the difference. Because when you have enough energy for yourself, you can give energy out. When you can give energy out, the universe gives energy back. And then you manifest everything you've ever fucking wanted. It could be something as simple as like sneaking out on your break to go to the car, to be alone, to conserve some of that energy so you can put your best foot forward. People respect people that know what they need. You don't have to shove it down people's throats though. That's the difference. And this is coming from somebody who like literally used to do this, would over communicate her needs to an extent where I'm just thinking like, well, did you ever even know your needs? Because if you knew your needs, you would just know, hey, this person's not meeting them and I can just do this myself. But so I'm just gonna guess that like over communicating needs just is another way of saying that you don't know your needs. Because if you knew them, you wouldn't have to scream them. So yeah, red pigment is really hard to get out of the hair. Just a heads up. But it can be done. You'll just damage your hair in the process. So there's risk in everything. You just have to choose the risk that is more in line with the vision that you want for your life. So we'll see what we can do with this, but I definitely think it's gonna be a process like most things, and I'm realizing that the process is perfection. Progress is perfection. Don't just think good thoughts. Think good conversations. What does this mean? Okay, it is literally impossible to have the best vibes ever if your thoughts suck horse dick. But we're not gonna change negative thoughts into positive thoughts just by like affirmations alone. We know this. We're gonna change negative thoughts into positive thoughts by having positive conversations over and over again until positive thoughts occur organically. I'll give you an example. An example of an unhealthy conversation with yourself is similar to an unhealthy conversation with a person. It's one-sided. For example, if you are talking to somebody and you're like, I really wish this guy likes me. And they were like, what the fuck? They're obsessed with you. And then they just moved on. That's delusional. And that friend probably doesn't have your best interest in heart, just saying. Or, which is more typical of having like more of a negative criticizing inner monologue, which is more likely, just an inner critic. It'll be like a lot more, God, I really like this guy. And then the inner critic will be like, really? Why? Why him? He doesn't even like you. Like, why? Like, he's like, doesn't deserve you. Or like, ew, move on. You need to focus on other things. Yes, maybe you do. Maybe that's all true. But how is that productive? How is that conducive to anything? Sometimes tough love is just another way of saying you're being a bitch. So don't be a bitch to yourself. Instead, have like a really healthy conversation with yourself when you have a thought that you don't really like, or it has like negative feelings to it. For instance, like, I really like this guy and he doesn't like me back. Okay, here's an example of a healthy conversation. I really like this guy. Oh yeah? What do you like about him? I like how he makes me feel. I like his smile. I like his eyes. But it's just like not working out. Why is it not working out? He's not really talking anymore. Well, have you tried talking to him? Yeah, and he's not responding? No, he's kind of responding. It's just not like how it used to be. So things have changed? Yeah. Have you changed? Yeah. Do you like who you are more than you liked who you were then? Yeah, totally. So actually, this change in a relationship is a reflection of the change in yourself, which is positive. So then this change in the relationship is also positive. Okay, good point. Wow. All right. Thank you. All right, so that's an example. That's just how I would talk to myself, because that's who I am. But if you're not like that, why would you talk to yourself that way, you know? It has to sound like you. That's the key element here. It's not gonna look like the box, guys, but it'll look a little bit different for sure. Remember, progress is perfection. Okay, so last but not least is wish people well. Wish people well, especially your enemies. Oh my God, especially your enemies. Wish them well. You can do this through visualization or literally affirmations. Okay, so the reason this is important is because if you want to be a high vibe person, you have to not only have good conversations with yourself, not only have take care of yourself and release endorphins and be honest with yourself when you're feeling some type of way and honor your energetic needs, but you also have to have how you think about people match up with the energy you're giving to people. Otherwise, there's just going to be a lack of trust there. So the way we can do that is through, like I said, visualization or affirmation. For instance, like, let's say you don't vibe with somebody at work, but you just want the energy to be peaceful. So you can say, insert their name here, is fulfilled. Because most of the time when people are fulfilled, they won't have to wish ill on you. They're fulfilled. Why would they bother? That's like why you should pray the hardest for people who are like clearly suffering the hardest. If they are inflicting pain on other people, hurt people. Or you could do visualization, no matter what it is. This also helps with detachment, honestly. You're not like trying to get anything out of anybody besides wishing them well. And honestly, how cool are people that wish you well without expecting anything in return? The peace is profit enough. You close your eyes and you visualize that person as happy as they could possibly be, and you visualize it so clear in your mind, and then you just go like, bye. And you just wave goodbye and they go off. Even if they're in your life for 10, 20 years later, like, you just wish them well. You want them to be happy, because ultimately, if they're happy, you are too. We're a collective consciousness. Let's not forget about it. Don't know how effective this is going to be. I'm not really seeing anything happen. But we'll have a couple, like another 20 minutes, maybe something will shift. I forgot to film an update video on my hair.
It's looking good now. It's looking good.